Hi, hey, my name's Kim, and yeah, I'm a dad too. I'm blessed with two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. Yeah, I remember when my daughter was born, and I was 28 at that point, and it completely changed the way that I see women because I know that they're all daughters, right? And now I have a son. My son was born 1 week after I turned 40. Now, as you can imagine, they both have a different mom, but man, how awesome is it to raise a man, right? That I get to teach him how to be a man. Sometimes I wonder, what does that mean to be a man? Does that mean that I have to have a beard and biceps and a Harley and swear that we don't cry, we don't whine, we don't ask for help? Because if we can be honest here, how often do we men talk about our feelings with other men? Never, right? Okay, maybe 3 times a year, in a good year. But for some reason, talking or nagging about our feelings makes us look weak among other men. And then it won't last long before someone else makes an awkward joke, and then we feel less of a man. Or maybe that's just me, but I know that, yeah, we don't. We never really learn how to talk about our feelings either. For us men, hanging out with friends is more about doing things together, like sharing experiences, rather than talking about our emotions, right? That's what women do. But that's also what they need more than us men. Women need to be able to talk about emotions. That's just how they relate. And that's also how our wives connect with us. Sharing about what's going on the inside is the way through for women. But man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, and so we toughen up, we try to figure it out on our own, and we muscle our way through. But what if we asked a woman what it means to be a man? How would they respond? Do you have any idea what your wife's answer would be? Well, most women, they were raised by a man, right? And isn't it said that a man looks for her father in her husband? Say what? Yeah, in what way do you resemble your father in law? Any idea how he thinks about what a man is all about? Or what kind of man did our wives dream about when they were young and they thought they would marry a knight on a white horse, right? To what degree do we resemble that person? Because when we're young, we survive our way through high school. We graduate, we pursue a career, we get married, and then we have kids. We buy a property, we must have a dog, and now we're ready to live happily ever after, right? Really? Well, then how does that happily ever after look like? To me, that wasn't it. Nope. Been there, done that, what a bitch. And she only got worse. She kept on messing up my life, even a decade after we broke up, and she still tries to do so every once in a while. But I often ask myself, would I want to be married to myself? That's a hard one, right? And I find that it has a humbling effect on me because there is someone who is married to you. Someone who sees in you her knight in shining armor she once dreamed of. The perfect partner to do life with. Of course, she's not perfect, but hey, neither are we. But there is something about her, though. The way she smiles, the look in her eyes, how she walks, how she talks, her lips. Whatever it is for you, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And so now there are children with your second wife, or maybe it's your third or your fourth. Hey man, no judgment here. All I know is that did not make things any easier, because now you have two women in your life telling you what to do and how to do it. And it's near impossible to get them both mutually happy. And I also know what it's like when you have your way of doing things with your children like you always have, and now some things are weird because, well, your wife became a mom whilst being a stepmom. And that's a challenging balance for her, and for you too. I know, because I've been there. And now she's looking for your help because she knows that she can be a better mom. She knows that she can be a better stepmom to your children. and she wants to be a better wife to you. You see, where you are in life right now is a sum total of all the choices you ever made. Nothing more and nothing less. You and your choices. And I want you to enjoy your life and your family. And I want you to know that you can. There is a way. But you can't do it all on your own. No, this is not a one-man show. But someone sees you as the man she wants to spend her life with. You have her in your corner. Yes, sir, she is on your team. And she needs you. Now, it's said that life is not about what happens to you. It's about what you do with what happens to you. Or is it what happens for you? I've come to understand that the obstacle that we struggle with is the way to where we want to go. It reveals the path for you to overcome your current situation. So, what problems are keeping you stuck in life right now? That thing has you under its control, and you cannot control something that you are controlled by. And we all have these things. That's what life is. It's called growth, and it leads to happiness. And in doing so, we all make mistakes. And when emotions are involved, the effects can be life-altering or life-shattering. Myself, I've gone through a not-so-happy family breakup, and not a week goes by that I don't feel guilty towards my daughter that she has to grow up in between two homes. Just when she settles in, she's got to go again. Always in between somewhere and nowhere. Some time ago, a friend of mine said that marriage brings out the worst in you, but also the best. Did you know, by the way, that married men tend to live longer than unmarried men? On average, for about 4 years. And did you also know that married men are more productive? Which means that they work more hours a year and thus they make more money than unmarried men. Because there is love where you're at right now. There is someone seeking you to come together as one, as a united force. Have you ever considered what would happen if your marriage failed? How would you feel if you and your children had to go through another divorce? More children that you get to see less, but pay more for, with several women? Do you really think that that would make life easier or make you happier? Because I want you to know that you matter. You really do. You are important and the world needs you. Your children need you for your hope, your wisdom, and your inspiration. You are what makes the difference in their lives. Now, as a dad, I'm sure you know the feeling that you've given your children advice, but they never took action on it, right? Like, you gave them the perfect advice, but they didn't do anything with it. Ever wondered why that is? Well, it's because your children don't know that you've been through what they're going through. They cannot fathom us being young, right? And for nearly 2 decades, I was a high school teacher, and every day I stood in front of that classroom and I poured out my soul into those little kids, giving them my life's wisdom and the best advice I could at that point. Just in the same way as you are doing in your family. And let me tell you a little secret. It's not what you say to them. Parenting, too, is not about what you say. It's about who you are. It's about what you do. You are a living, breathing example. And without even knowing it, they are learning from you. They see you, they hear you, and they will copy you. Yes, sir, they will. Did you come to the incredible conclusion that you are just like your dad? Maybe you lean more to your mother's style? But it's all about the example that you set. And you greatly, greatly impact everyone in your family. As a father, I can imagine you want your kids to be brave, right? You want them to grow up with courage in their hearts, yes? So then, if you can't tell them how to tell them, So then, if you can't tell them to, then how do you show them? How do you live out valor? Well, for one, the fact that you're giving this video a chance is a sign that you are a courageous man. You are showing your family that courage does not mean that you never fear. It means that you do what's necessary despite the fear. Maybe that's what being a man is all about. Doing the thing that you're afraid of. Knowing that being afraid is no longer a reason for not taking action. And your wife needs you too, because your family needs you. Their lives depend on you. They only have one dad, and they rely on you for courage, for wisdom, for inspiration, and for how life is supposed to be. You are one big walking, talking, breathing advertisement board for life, whether you want to or not. It comes with the kids. You know that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and where you're at today is where your children will be when they grow up. My question to you is, how does that make you feel? Would you be proud to see your son live up to his potential and live a life like you did? Would you sleep soundly at night knowing that your daughter is married to someone like you? You are their example. And when they will find themselves exactly where you're at in life, when they do, they will think back of you, and what you did, because you are their normal. You exemplify what they are to do when they are in your situation. And we all are. Everybody is in the exact same situation that you find yourself in right now. When I met my wife, I was 38, and never would I have imagined getting married. But we did get married within 4 months after meeting. And right before saying I do, I came across this idea that everybody marries the wrong person. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, am I making the biggest mistake of my life? Is she not the right woman for me after all? But the idea that we all marry the wrong person is about that it doesn't matter who we marry. Sooner or later, there will be hard times. There will be challenging times where we can't back off because we're afraid. It doesn't matter who we marry. No, we need to be brave. We need to have the hard conversations with our spouse and with ourselves. But you don't have to be perfect. You don't need to be the perfect dad, the perfect husband, and be perfect in everything, because that's not what it's about. It's about standing for something. It's about standing up for something that's bigger, something that your children will only come to understand when they in fact are in your shoes later in life. Marriage has an incredible power that the world seems to have forgotten about. Marriage forgives you for all of your imperfections because there is love. And love has a healing effect on both spouses. Where do we learn how to live a happy, loving life anyway? What do we really know about it? Did your parents show you how to live happily and lovingly? To what degree do we even know what love is? It sure is not what Hollywood makes us believe. What true love should look like, let me tell you that. That's how the idea of the happily ever after got in our head in the first place. It's written that love is patient and love is kind. Well, just at those two words, I fail 10 times a day. But it doesn't mean that I give up or that my wife gives up on me. No, she loves me through it. I'm not saying that all of this is where you're at right now. I don't know you. I don't know your personal situation. But chances are that you find yourself living a less than ideal life. Chances are that you know that something is off, and maybe you're not aware of it, but your beautiful wife, the one that you pledged to hold her hand in sickness and in health, is looking for a way to help you see that there is. She's extending you a hand to show you how much she is seeking to love you better. Because she wants to see you live your best life that makes your soul sing. And she wants her soul to sing in this life too. If this marriage would fail, if you let it fail, and maybe in 10 or 20 years when you're remarried, I promise you that you will find yourself in the exact same situation again. Only the face on the other side of the table would have changed, but you won't. And so won't your children. They will have learned to just walk away whenever something gets too hard. Walk away, divorce, sell their baby home, have multiple children with multiple women you don't get to see half the time. Is that really what you want to teach them? I don't want this to be the day that you look back on in regret, thinking, I know I could have done more. I could have been a better father, a more loving husband. I know I had more inside me, but I was too afraid or too stubborn to do something about it. If you feel deep down inside of you that you want your family to be happy, your children, your wife, and yourself included, then this could be that day. Know that you are not alone. And if you're as big as a lucky son on my beach as myself, then true love found you after all. But it's on us to savor it, to nurse it, to honor the love that's there with our wives. If we don't actively do something with it, it'll die. It fades away to become nothing but a distant memory. It doesn't mean that what you do has to be big and huge and expensive, not at all. One small gesture a day makes a world of difference. The right small thing, that is. When you know what to do and why to do it, and it works, you'll only want to do more of it. Because let's be honest, happy wife, happy life. And you will get lucky more often, sir. You'll be the one saying, again? Honey, give a man a break. You see, I know that where you're at right now is not where you want to be. And you don't have to stay there. You don't have to. You can overhaul your life. Not from one day to the other. And not by remaining the same person, doing the same things you've always been doing. No, man. Something's got to shift within you. And it's not hard. It's not hard to do. It's actually more of a letting go and allowing a part of you that does not serve you to go away. Seeing it for what it is, being brutally honest with yourself, is enough for you to release it. Did you see my wife look at me in the photo above this video? That's possible for you too, man. You can have a happy wife and a happy life and feel good and have lots of sex with your wife. Yeah, you can have it all. There is a way.